Kyle, that was quick. That was quick, Kyle. A little too quick. What's going on? What is going on? Let's let some people get in here. Bryce, what's popping? What is popping, Bryce? 1 second. Hold up. All right. We got some things to talk about. 90% chance of tropical formation in 7 days. 60% chance in 2 days. It's looking pretty good to me right now. It shifted a little up to the north, huh? There it is. We'll have to see where this eye forms. I'm going to let some more people get in here, and then we're going to get started. Is it actually increased? Well, yes, model trends are towards the states. You know, we're far enough out where it's not going to mean much, but you follow trends in meteorology. So we'll get into that in a second. We'll get into that right now, actually. All right. We're going to get into it right now. First off, I told you guys. I told you, Weather Bell. I told you. Weather Bell's got some of our probabilities out on it now. You can see where they see this storm going. We got some, track. Some spaghetti plots. All the good stuff out here now. Let's actually take a look at this. Here we go. Some spaghetti plots. Most of them agree. Keeping this thing a little bit farther to the south, pushing out west. It's a little farther north than this shows right now, though. GFS, same thing. CMC not on here. So, yeah, this would be about 168 hours out. So, we have an invest now. It is not a tropical disturbance. It is an invest. Now, it goes like this. It's just a low pressure disturbance. Then it's an invest. Then it's a depression. Then it's a tropical storm. Then it's a hurricane. But the strength, the difference between an invest and a tropical storm aren't like that crazy. That's pretty quick. That's only not too much of a wind speed increase. Cowboys are losing. I don't know who I want to lose. I'm a Giants fan. I probably want the Eagles to lose, if I'm being honest. It is heading a little towards Puerto Rico. Do you guys want to take a look at some of the new model runs? Look at our new intensity. This is actually a decent hurricane model, by the way. That brings it up to a Cat 4. It's actually a pretty good model for predicting strength. Not gonna lie. The latest GEPS. Some of these do pull it out, which would be nice. These model runs keep it actually pushing through the Antilles down there, not going as far to the north. Let's take a look at our latest forecast models. I actually did not have time to take a look at these today, so we'll be doing it together. Okay. What's going on, Climate Crew? Let's take a look here. Well, the latest GFS brings it directly... the latest GFS brings it as a hurricane into Florida, basically into the Florida Keys and then it brings it up the entire state, re-intensifies it into possibly a Cat 2, and then brings it into Carolina, and then up the entire coast as a tropical storm. This would be a really bad storm. I mean, this would be a hurricane tropical storm that literally goes over all the major population centers. That's the update for today, I guess. Still nothing to worry about with this amount of time out ahead of this. These, like I said yesterday, model runs are going to continue to change. But that's the latest GFS, which is, again, you don't want to see that. It's not a great trend, but we know that that's going to change a lot. What's good is the latest Euro. Let's take a look at the latest Euro. Actually, oh, that's the AT&T. Oh my God, what is? I have to go into the Western Atlantic. Okay, so the Euro. I'm not surprised the Euro is doing this. The Euro sees this thing. Well, actually, no. This must be. Yeah, the Euro has this thing getting torn apart by wind shear again out here. The Euro's gone back and forth a million times on this. That's why I don't like the Euro down in the tropics. Unless it's within 72 hours, then the Euro does pretty good in the tropics. Because you can see, I mean, this was our run just yesterday. And today it doesn't know what it's doing. It is keeping it farther south, though. Farther southerly track, actually, I don't think would be as good for the States. Here's our hurricane model. Here's our hurricane model that is specifically for looking at these things. Oh, it's so annoying. So the hurricane model has it strengthening. I mean, this is the this is HWRF, Hurricane Weather Research Forecasting Model. And let me get back into it here. This is good when we start to get these models and not the other stupid globals. I don't want to look at a global for a hurricane. I want to look at hurricane models. It has this thing strengthening up to at least a major hurricane. So strength-wise, hurricane models like it. Let's look at our halves. Our halves agrees more with the Euro. Thinks it's going to struggle to strength. Halves B. Hurricane analysis and forecasting system. Let's look at our. This is a next gen model, I believe. Halves is HMON Invest 91L. Okay, keeping it to the south, not showing strength. HWRF is. And I'm not just saying this to get people hyped, but this is, and I've said it a million times on stream. You can go back to my old streams. This is, in my opinion, and in a lot of people's opinion, the best for forecasting strength for hurricanes. So our best strength forecaster, and that's what I was talking about when I showed you the other one. Our best strength forecaster does have this thing getting up to a pretty strong storm, major hurricane. That's what we were looking at. Now it's hard to tell where it wants to take the path. But that's what we were looking at right here. I'll get to answering questions here in just a second. That's not our HWRF, but this is a hurricane model. So, yeah. Interesting stuff. I think we're going to have to wait a little bit longer. But I think in the meantime, we're going to consistently see this, back and forth of does it go out into the ocean? Does it fall apart to shear to the south? Or does it slam into the coast somewhere as a major hurricane? Those are the three options that the models keep jumping around in. But when we were talking about this thing 5 days ago, no one thought this thing was going to get anywhere near the States. But our conditions to the north change. We've kind of got two high pressures that want to settle in like this now, creating a little bit more of a block to the north. Potentially. The strength of the storm also matters for the track. We know that. The speed of our troughs and fronts that move out to the east can affect the path, how fast those move or how slow those move. Do they move over before the storm gets there and not influence, or do they move over, while it's getting there and influence out back into the ocean? Spicy. I see that, Jasmine. Any idea if Raleigh, North Carolina will get impacted? It's possible, but no one knows right now. It's too far out. Jasmine, Marissa, NTX, Morgan. What is going on? Yeah, thanks. I appreciate those of you who hit the like button. Thank you. Appreciate that. Let's see here. Oh, no. You're a Cowboys fanfare. No. Not a Cowboys fan. Oh, gosh. It's okay. We can still be friends. What day would it reach Puerto Rico? That's a good question. if it were to make landfall in Puerto Rico. We don't know that it's gonna, or come close to Puerto Rico. We don't know that's gonna do that. But we can take a quick look at it. Western Atlantic. I mean, yeah. I mean, the GFS does have this thing going over Puerto Rico as a Cat 2, Cat 3. It's not impossible, but time again. If you're in Puerto Rico, you better be paying attention closely because we're talking about 180 hours out until this thing is approaching you. So if you're in Puerto Rico, you should be paying attention closely. If you're in the States, we have a little bit of time to figure out the track and intensity. Puerto Rico needs to be paying attention though. The H-Wharf model keeps it to the south and strong. So does the GFS, and they both take it right over Puerto Rico. Do I think it's going to go right over Puerto Rico like this model says? No. It's already a little bit farther north of the original development zone, meaning I think it's going to be a little bit farther north, but it's not an impossibility that it goes straight over. It could still hit Puerto Rico. So start paying attention now. Timing wise, yeah, this would be around next Friday on the 12th. It would probably be heading towards you. I would say give or take a day or two, Thursday to Saturday. Success. I appreciate you. I saw on GF yesterday where a run where it hit New York City. Yeah, but that's why we say not to pay attention to the exact track this far out, because runs are going to keep throwing out random stuff that's not going to happen. Not that it couldn't happen. There are scenarios where this does go up and hit the Mid-Atlantic or New England, but we don't know yet. Gold Dust, I appreciate you. B, I appreciate you. Damn, we getting in Georgia? Yeah, I mean, yeah, here, let's go to the latest. Wow, what is the latest GFS doing? So this is our 12Z. So this is our better model run, because this model run takes your 18Z just adjusts for time, basically. So our 12Z run does have it making landfall in Florida and going up the entire coast like this. But our 18Z, again, not as good of a model run as the 12Z, but it still means something if we continue to see trends. Look, pulls it back out. You can easily, all right, chat, can you see the weather phenomenon that's pushing, that's as this storm's moving off to the west? Someone in chat answered. As the storm moves off to the west, can you see what's blocking it and pushing it back this way? Watch. Can you see that? What is that? I know someone knows the answer. Yeah, gigantic trough that pushes off the coast and kind of stalls out, and this is the frontal boundary from it right here. That's that trough in action right there. Still sticking around. So yeah, it's gonna push out. You kind of get a trough moving in there. You get a big front, and this storm's like, I'm coming for you, Florida, and then it just runs right into that and gets blocked. Good defense. This would be really great defense. This would be great climatological defense for the states. Morgan extended 6-month renewal subscription. Oh my gosh, half a year. Shout out Morgan. You say that word a lot, so I was like, wait, what? Wait, what word? Yeah, it is a high pressure. It is a high pressure here. You have a high pressure behind a trough. Yeah, same thing. Well, we can actually take a look at this. It's not necessarily... You could have a ridge with a high, but if we were to see something like this with a... This to me looks like a frontal boundary setting up here, but we can take a look at that. Let's actually go take a look at that really quick. Let's go to our GFS, and let's look at our... I could be wrong. Let's take a look at our 500 millibar upper air. There it is. Here we go. You see this beginning to dig down. Here's big ridge. Then you see our trough here, and you can see kind of our southern jet. You see the southern jet here, our northern jet here, and that's where you're seeing all of that precipitation form right here. Technically, yes, we're gonna get a high that forms right back here, right behind that. And that right there is when the storm comes in. Right here. As this is digging down like this, and our storm it would be approaching from like down here, and then be blocked off like this with this influence. So that'd be good timing. Now, some models have this. This is what I was talking to Matt about yesterday. Some models have this, have our trough here much faster, and this clears. This clears before a storm approaches the southeast, and so it doesn't really affect the storm. So the speed of this matters. What if it's too slow? What if it's too slow? There's nothing down to the south right here, right? What if our storm speeds up and you know what I mean? Like, it all depends. It starts being influenced right here, and then you can see that's what starts it moving north, and then we're trekking off. And then you have a secondary one here too. Let me go back. Let's push out into, because as I'm looking at this, I'm changing my mind. Actually, let me do this. Okay, it logged me without showing everything. Good. This pushes our storm north, and then you can see it moving north. This would be kind of towards the Carolinas, and then here comes this secondary one. Look at that. But by this point, this is being influenced by the Bermuda High, though. Not even this trough. This is being influenced by the Bermuda High now. It's strong enough. So it's really that first one that I believe is going to have more effect on it here. So the timing of that really matters, though. And you can see that initial trough lagging behind here as well. The timing of that's really going to matter. We don't want that to happen too quick, or the storm's going right into the southeast. I'm telling you. So hopefully the timing of hopefully that weather pattern stays somewhat consistent. It all just comes down to timing. That's like what all weather is. Yeah, almost all weather is how fast does this warm air meet this cold air. How fast does I guess it's not all. No, most weather is down to timing. Most weather is down to timing, because you can have a bunch of warm air move into a sector that has cooled down, or that is still slightly mild. You're not going to get severe weather. But if cold air sticks around a little bit longer because a trough or you have blocking out to the east, so it sticks around a little bit longer, the warm air interacts with colder air. Especially in the tropics, timing is everything. If we have a high pressure shifting to the southwest, and this storm is moving at, I don't know, 20 miles per hour, but it speeds up, it can affect, does it go to the north, does it stay to the south? It is timing. These are all just everything. I can get complicated, and talk about, the way air moves between high and low pressures, but everything's running into each other out here and being influenced by each other. You have storms that are wanting to be pulled clockwise around high pressures. You have storms running into fronts that are kind of acting as a blocking mechanism. You have troughs that maybe don't dig as far south, and that actually helps to force the storm farther down to the south because it can't make it up to the north. So for timing wise, yeah, we're watching how fast does this trough push from west to east, how fast does this high shift down to the southwest, and how fast is our storm moving. And if any of these change pace over the next few days, it can completely shift what the model sees. Because if your high speeds up, that's going to change the track. If your trough speeds up, that's going to change the track. If our tropical, if our invest or tropical storm begins to speed up, well, it might like I said, it's going to outrun that. It's going to outrun that trough or outrun the high pressure, and it's going to ignore it and maybe move into the Gulf. So it is all timing. And that's why when you see model after model, like the GFS 12Z went like this and took the storm up and down the entire East Coast. The GFS 18Z took it like this. The difference 100% there is timing. I don't know which one it probably sees our system to the north slowing down instead of outpacing it. That's probably what's happening, but yeah, it's mostly timing. What about Kentucky, Lexington area? For what? We do have some severe weather tomorrow we can talk about, actually, by the way. Look at this low, guys. Look at this upper level low that's bringing us this crazy cold air for this time of year. Do you see this land? Absolute land hurricane. Look at this thing. There's your center. We did not get the slight today out east, and even on satellite, it looks super impressive. The instability wasn't there. The instability wasn't there. That's all it was. I mean, we had some parameters that looked like we could get something big out east, but we didn't, which is good. Speaking of severe weather, though, categorical risk tomorrow. We do have a slight tomorrow. You should have circled that, B. Actually, no, I said that in my short. I said that in my short yesterday. I said I think we may have a slight out here because those SIGTOR params. And then day 3, we've got that shifting out to the east. Again, this could be slight, but we'll have to wait and see. This, though, I think could end up... I want to look at what our TOR is here. We do have a large 2% TOR. Possibly... we could see this increased. We'll have to see. The TOR parameters are pretty decent here, especially on the Rufus model. So we'll be watching... This is tomorrow. So we'll be watching this tomorrow through Kentucky, portions of Ohio, West Virginia. I'd actually be shocked if we didn't see a few tornadoes out of this system, just based on the parameters I've seen. I wouldn't expect them to be too major. Like, I'm not expecting any huge EF3 wedge tornadoes, but I think we need to watch that. You're in Louisville, Kentucky? Louisville, not Louisville. Yeah, I was much closer with that one. Definitely have weather alerts on tomorrow. We can take a look at the timing really quickly. Connecticut tomorrow. Here, let's do this. Let's take a look at the 00Z is loading. Let's take a look at the 18Z Rufus. And let's go into here real quick so we'll get back into severe, or we'll get back into tropical and some cold air talk in a second. Here we go on the Rufus. Look at that right there. Look at that right there. This is right as we get into this, or 23Z. You guys are CST here, so this would be 6 o'clock. This would be 6 p.m. Central, 7 Eastern as we get out here. So this is going to be potentially an early evening event, but this is a pretty decent line of supercells that we see forming along here. So that's the 18Z. I'm interested to see how that starts to look in the 00Z that's loading right now on the Rufus. Let's look at our NAM 3K. NAM not showing as much supercell action, but a lot more thunderstorm activity. So that's pretty interesting. Not as there. I'm assuming the NAM isn't seeing the same level of instability then. There. Now our HRRR2 isn't super bullish on supercell activity, but it does. We do get some through Eastern Kentucky, Southwestern, West Virginia, and Southern Ohio. Let's see here. Can we get a... I don't think our... Yeah, let's look at our MPass. This is a good one to look at right now. Love me some MPass. I don't know what it's doing there, though. All right, never mind. MPass, I just talked you up, and you're literally hallucinating. What is this? What are you doing? That's a glitched run. But yeah, something's going on with the MPass. That's not what's going to happen. But I did want to show you this. This is what I did want to show you. SIGTOR. Some pretty decent levels of SIGTOR down here. Now there's inhibition, which is good. But we have a marginal TOR possible hazard type here. 231 SRH is pretty decent. So is 30 knot low level shear, surface shear. That's pretty good as well. Directional shear isn't really there. There's some inhibition, meaning we could have some problem with convection. You need that convection to form to tilt those rotating columns of air up. Your air is cycling nice out of the southwest, though. So that's southwesterly flows, good for potential tornadoes. And the capes, over 2,000 joules per kilogram surface cape. So this is a pretty decent tor. Those are pretty decent tor parameters for September. So it's something to pay attention to tomorrow. I mean, we've got 4,000 joules per kilogram surface cape right here on this run. But this run doesn't look as threatening tor-wise with 16 not low-level shear and 100 surface relative helicity. So, anyways, Kentucky, pay attention tomorrow. Kentucky, West Virginia, and Ohio. Please. Northern Tennessee as well. Eagles game is delayed due to lightning. No severe storms, just lightning. Yeah, they have to do that. We hope we get some tornadoes in Connecticut outside. Oh, wait. Are you talking about... when you say CT, are you talking about Connecticut? Or are you talking about... Are you talking about a city? Oh, you are? Oh, I didn't even look up there. Are you talking about on Saturday? Friday, Saturday. There is Sigtor up there. Good call. There's a decent amount of Sigtor up here. At least on the Rufus. We'll look at the other models. A 2.0 effective layer Sigtor param. Hey, these aren't bad parameters. Those are surprisingly good parameters for a tornado in Connecticut in September. Still nothing I'd be like overly concerned about, but yeah, I mean, if this were to play out like this, you would have the possibility for a tornado up there in New England. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. Reflectivity. You'd probably get a spin or two up there if we saw that. Here's our NAM 3K showing us Saturday. Yeah, I mean, Saturday was looking pretty decent. Yeah, Saturday, New England. I think taking a look at that now, man, that's going to be a slight, I think. That, I mean, looks pretty good on the NAM 3K and Rufus. But we'll get our HRRR in tomorrow for it. Although the HRRR has been crap in the last few months. Any updates on Hurricane Kiko? Sorry, I just saw that. Let's take a look. Kiko. First, let's take a look at the beauty. Okay, just appreciate it for a second, and then we'll talk about the damage it could do. It's a nice looking storm. All right, now to the bad stuff. Well, the good news is all of our models have the intensity dropping off a cliff within the next 48 hours. I mean, maybe getting down to tropical storm within the next 4 days, 96 hours. That's good news. And with that, and this is likely, you rarely ever get a lot of shear out here. This is likely due to, although storms really struggle to maintain strength for long periods of time, this is probably due to cooler waters. Yeah, they have it getting down to a tropical storm and probably moving over one of the islands. That would be Tuesday morning for you guys. But the models are very consistent on that weakening. You know, if we didn't see consistent weakening, this would concern me. But you've got a really kind of tight agreement on this dropping in intensity. So that's good. It's going to bring some wind, some gusty conditions, and heavy downpours and large swells, very large swells. You could have some decent rip currents and potentially some storm surge, some decent storm surge. Any updates on Texas? What kind? You guys want to see what the temperatures are looking like right now? I'll get over to Texas. Let me see. Are we up to date right now? Let's see. Yeah. We're up to date here. Oops, let me get out of this. Why will this not let me stop drawing? One second, guys. Oh my gosh, this is gonna drive me crazy. Look, I can't move anything. It has me stuck on draw tool. Help! 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 Let me try hitting something. All right. Let's do this. Let's do the good old close and reopen. That'll have to do WSV3. I hope it stays out of the Gulf. Me too. You don't want to storm in there this time of year. Yeah. Love the pinned update with football. Football's back. We are so back. All right, let's reopen this and let's take a look at this. What's going on here? Here's our wind chills. Here is our wind chills right now. Have 40s and 30s up here. Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan. Now, again, this stuff is going to be moving south rapidly. You can kind of see where we've got this down to now. These temperatures, you can really see this is where the cool down is. Tomorrow, we'll see a lot of this cold air. We'll actually take a look at we'll take a look at Weather Bell in a second. We'll see some of this cold air stretching down here, and then on Saturday, we'll actually see it down in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Tennessee, North Carolina. And then on Sunday, that cold air is finally going to make it out to the East Coast, and we'll see a nice cool down up and down the East Coast there. Carolinas, Mid-Atlantic, and New England. Let's take a look at that. Let's go take a look at Weather Bell real quick. In the morning, in the evening. I like this song. As stream songs go. In the evening. All right. Let's go to... Sorry, I know you can't see anything. What the heck? Oh. 1 second. Oh, there we are. Sorry. There we are. Let's take a look at Weather Bell. And let's take a look at our latest Euro. So let's go to our feels like. And let's push into central US first. We know we're baking out west. We know that for a fact. Here we go. Look at these wind chills tomorrow. I know that the low here tomorrow is... I'm in Minneapolis, and our low wind chill wise is 35 degrees tomorrow morning. Or actually tomorrow night, but tomorrow morning's get down to the high 30s, low 40s. Now this is... Now take a look at like the drastic, like you've got 100 degrees down here still. While we've got this really frigid air from the north pushing down. Here we go, we get into Saturday, and you get a little bit of relief down there to the south. That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. Listen, Houston, I don't know if you get a break. New Orleans, I don't know if you get a break, but a lot of people do. You can see we're still... That front doesn't look like it wants to push down to southern Texas, southern Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida. It's getting close, but you're kind of getting choked off. You'll have lower lows, but your highs will still be just as hot. We went over this yesterday, but yeah, Sunday's when the East gets their break. You can see temperatures approaching 90 on Saturday. Potentially New York City, Philadelphia, DC. And then watch what happens Sunday. What are those highs? Mid 70s maybe? Next day, what are those highs? Low 70s. I mean, you're dropping 20 degrees and you're staying 20 degrees below average for quite a few days in a row next week. Most of next week is going to be much nicer for the Mid-Atlantic and New England and portions of the Southeast here, the Carolinas. Much nicer. Yeah, we need to wait for some more models to see what's going to happen with the Invest. We've been looking at our latest models. You know, the GFS 12Z still has it running into Florida and moving up the coast as a hurricane. The 18Z, although, has it moving away from land. Our Euro, as usual, doesn't know what it wants to do. The Euro's not good long range in the tropics. It has it kind of getting torn apart with shear. But, you know, on our 00Z from yesterday, it had this storm almost making landfall in Miami as a Cat 4, potentially. So we need a little bit more time. But the good news is, well, it's not necessarily good news. It's an Invest. It'll be a tropical storm soon, and that's when you start getting all your good data. And Get some hurricane hunters out there in the storm. I say we'll get some hurricane hunters out there in the storm like I run the National Weather Service. That would be cool. But you know what I mean. We need... The NFL game is going to end at 1 a.m. Not if you're in Central Time. When will the weather pass Philly? I want to watch the game again. You guys are going to have a few days with some strong to severe thunderstorms, unfortunately. Unfortunately. You've got this beautiful... Let me actually move some of this stuff around one second, guys. You've got this beautiful front moving through, and then you're going to have a second one right behind it. Let's go to our composite. Here's this one. You're going to have another one right behind it. Let's go to our outlooks. Categorical. Here's tomorrow. You're not in a general thunderstorm, but you'll probably get some showers tomorrow. It'll be later in the day. Day 3. Based on what we just looked at, you'd think, surprisingly, that we might get a slight in the northern region of this, even though it's up in New England. Tomorrow night for northern Alabama, still going to be pretty warm. You guys aren't going to feel that cool down for northern Alabama until, or like a significant cool down until Saturday. But northern Alabama is in a marginal tomorrow. Marginal risk for severe weather. Huntsville, Florence, that area. Houston's looking hot, and unfortunately, Houston and South, San Antonio, Houston and South are going to be some of the only areas in Texas that probably don't feel that cool down from this front. Now, rainfall wise, you guys don't have any severe weather in the immediate future. Let's look at our 5-day forecast for rainfall down Houston. It's going to be hot and dry. I mean, right now models are predicting maybe 1/10 of an inch of rain in Houston over the next 5 days. But who knows? We could get some of this moisture shifting up to the north. We do have a tropical system running into the coast, and that moisture is going to be forced off to the east. So that could change. But right now it's looking hot and dry. Shocker. Well, actually, Houston's usually not too dry. It was 101 today. That's gross. The high, the high where I am today, I think was 55. Make sure you follow Connor for more weather updates. Yes, love that, Pin Tufts. Yeah, guys. Speaking of that, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep answering everyone's questions. We're letting everyone into my Discord right now for free. Connor's Climate Corner HQ. Connor's Climate Corner HQ. Every weather update you need is in there. We have tons of weather enthusiasts in there that are always updating people. Like, I mean, even sometimes I get in my own Discord and I'm looking at like general chat or weather talk, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that was going on. So they update me too. But it's a really awesome community, and we're growing it, and we're starting free merch giveaways again. Hey, B, should I show them some of the winter drops? I feel like I should just pull up the homepage and show them. But we're gonna do free merch giveaways again, and the merch it's not like cheap merch. Most of it's like if on the site, it's gonna be $40 to $60 because I'm not getting cheap material. I'm getting nicer material. And embroidered because I want these things to last. I don't want them to tear up in the. I mean, look, you guys see me wear this on stream all the time. I actually wear it out all the time because it's actually really good quality. B has the crew neck, it's good quality too.
This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
But yeah, we're gonna do free merch giveaways in the Discord. All you have to do is just like, I make an announcement, you like it, or you just emote on it, and you get it. You get put in. You literally don't have to do anything, and we have updates in there every day. I tell you guys when I'm streaming and all the good stuff. So if you guys want to join the Discord, just add Connor's Climate Corner HQ. Just add me on Discord, and I'll invite you and add you to the Climate Crew. It's free right now. It won't be forever, but it's free right now. Let's see. Anyone have any questions about this? What is chat? Okay, you know what? I'm going to do a poll to see what chat wants to go over right now, really quick. Okay? Let's do this. Or what you want my opinion on. Let's do this. Should we talk about Okay. Let me do this. All right, 1 second. One more. All right. I'm going to Bermuda season and hurricane season. Amazing. Well, then let's hope that the 18Z GFS isn't right, because this storm goes right over Bermuda in the 18Z GFS. Don't worry, it's probably not right. As I said, it's too early. Yeah, we need way more time. We got a poll going on right now. Let's see. Thanks, Tuffs. Is Houston getting hit by a tropical system this year? Listen, this system could hit Houston, but there's also like a 99.9% chance it doesn't. I've explained it a lot, but I'll explain it again. Let's move over to... Actually, let me change this real quick. We're going to talk about when I think hurricane season... Okay. You know what we're going to do right now? Let me see the poll. I have some interesting stuff we can talk about weather-wise. Tropics fall winter outlook. Let's talk about this. Let's take a look at our ENSO updates, because our ENSO updates are going to really affect when hurricane season really pops off here. We're getting into peak hurricane season, and I'm going to talk about what has shifted in our teleconnections and what I think the rest of September and November is going to look like temperature-wise for us. Let's do that. Let's get into temperature outlooks for everyone, and let's get into tropical outlooks for everyone. First, I want to look at... Sorry, my brain is scrambled. First, I want to look at our ocean. Okay. Now give me 1 second. Okay, we're gonna go over a lot right now. I'll keep this on for a second. Give me 1 second. We're gonna talk about this stuff. Sorry, mods, I forgot. All right, let's do this. Yes, I do have a winter prediction video. Yeah. We'll go over all this right now, though. Okay. So let's get into it. First off, what's our latest update with our Enzo? Still very cold. Had a little bit of an increase right here, which is interesting, but we are likely to remain in a weak La Nina. We know what that means. Weak La Nina means it's colder than average winter for most in the U.S. besides the southeast. Southeast still can be cold. It's not always perfect, but that's typically what we see. I don't think we have an updated ENSO forecast from NOAA yet. But as I've said, for my... Sorry, here you guys go. I spoke about this in some videos. I expect the end of September, beginning of October to be active for hurricanes. Why? The longer we stay in this pattern, the closer we get to our jet stream. It's weakening and kind of pushing off north. And that opens up a lot of opportunity for storms to move through the Caribbean Gulf and Western Atlantic uninterrupted. They won't have to deal with as much shear. Waters are still slightly above average. Well to slightly above average in this area. Bermuda highs shift a little bit farther off to the east, which could give us a little more fish storms. But I think by September, October, end of September, October, the conditions will be right. And that's kind of what happened last hurricane season, where we got Helene and Milton, 2 major hurricanes in the Gulf at the end of the year. Or later in the season, I should say, not at the end of the year. Later in the season. We'll have to see how this affects our jet stream. This very positive MPO up here. Very warm water in the northern Pacific. Anyways, end of September, early October, I think the tropics are going to get active. This storm right now, which model do I think is correct? What do I actually think is going to happen? And this is 50% guess, 50% skill. It's a 50-50. Because half of this is just no one really knows. It's too far out. But I like the GFS typically in the long range. Now the GFS is seeing some crazy things still. I do think you can see what happens as the storm moves to the north. Here's what's happening. Here's our big upper level low up here. We have a low right here. And our large upper level low right here is trying to pull this moisture out. This is what's causing our big front down here and our high pressure that's sitting behind it. As this moves off to the east, we kind of get a stalled frontal boundary setting up over the southeast. And these models have this stalling for quite a while, and that's not too typical. I mean, they really have that frontal boundary stalling for quite a while. My personal thoughts are that that's not going to happen. Yeah. But I'm really 50-50 on this, guys. My personal thoughts are we don't have a stalled frontal boundary off the southeastern coast. And this high pressure that you see moving in behind here will settle in out here. And that would push the storm farther west, potentially into the Gulf. But if this thing turns up and goes out into the open ocean... Oh, and by the way, look at the hurricane right behind it on the latest GFS. I haven't even been talking about that. But if this does go out into the open ocean, I won't be surprised. Personally, seeing this like stalled out frontal boundary there for a week straight. I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen. And then you can see the placement of this high to the north that this model seems to be ignoring. Instead of moving our storm east or west, it wants to move it east. A little bit confusing here. And our model's kind of teleporting our high pressure off to the northeast. Personally, if everything was on the line, I'd have to say it's gonna head west a little bit farther west. I'd have to say it's now. I have a big question on if it does do this though. What's the strength like out here? Is it just does it get torn apart like the Euro seas? Is it a depression, tropical storm? Is it very little impacts? That's still possible. But right now, I think a farther westerly track's more favorable. But it's like I said, don't take that with a large grain of salt, because I could easily see the other scenario coming true. What do you guys think? Oh yeah, invest 91L. Yeah. Yeah, it exactly. It shows you what ocean it's in. It can show you ocean and location. Let me see something here. The invest needs time to see what it... Yes, correct. Thanks, Liam. The water temperatures out there are extremely warm. They're not as warm as they were. Let's take a look at our climate reanalyzer. Uh-oh. Climate reanalyzer mods. Yeah, I'll show the West Coast. We can talk about it. There's not much happening out there. It's hot. It's pretty hot and dry. Well, Southwest has some moisture moving up into it, but we can take a look at it. A little bit boring out there right now. The West Coast will get a little bit more exciting here in a little bit. Yeehaw! Ride 'em, cowboy. God dang it. I still don't... I need a way for that to go on my main screen. I'll figure it out eventually. Pilot, Yali, Pearly, I appreciate you. All right, so let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at water temps. Here we go. Let's go into the Gulf. No, I want to go here. Sea surface temps. Let's go Gulf of Mexico. All right, here's every year since like what? This is like 30, 40 years of data here. Where's our ocean? Our Gulf is pretty warm, actually. Our Gulf is pretty warm. Let's look at our North Atlantic as a whole. Not that warm. We've had a lot of warmer years in the North Atlantic as a whole. A lot of warmer years. You can see here it's above average. Clearly, it's above average. This is our average, but not that far above average. So North Atlantic as a whole is not too warm. Hurricane MDR, again, it's above average, but we've had some years that are much warmer. And remember, the oceans are supposed to be warming as we, we're in an interglacial period. They're going to warm up naturally, unnaturally, whatever you want to call it. Nino 3.4, shocker. It's below average. Why? Because we're entering a weak La Nina. No one's surprised there. God, this must have been the strongest El Nino on record. What year was that? 2000. Oh my God. Hold up. Did we have this mega El Nino in 2015? We did. I completely forgot about that. I just saw that and I was like, how strong was our El Nino in 2015? Does anyone know off the top of their head? Come on, someone needs to know in here. What the heck? What was our... Oh, here we go. No. Here we go. Where's 2015? I need to see this now. There it is. Very strong. Strongest one on record. Look at this. Jeez. I did not remember having that extreme of an El Nino. Was there any snow in the South in 2015? I feel like there wasn't. That should have been a snowy year in the South. Interesting. Anyways, I think we're due for another strong La Nina though. We haven't had a major La Nina like since 2010-11. Sorry guys, I'm getting distracted. The climate reanalyzer just threw me off. But yeah, subpolar North Atlantic, cold, well below. Wow, that's shocking. Look at this, well below average. Subpolar North Atlantic. Anyways, though, I did not realize that the Gulf of Mexico was actually at record temps right now. Well, record temps for this, not the hottest it's ever been, but record temps for this point in the year. Hence, chat, hence why I said about 15 minutes ago, I really don't want to see a storm in the Gulf at this time of year. Although I did not know the Gulf was that hot. But you never want to see a storm in the Gulf in September and October. That thing is a hot tub. An absolute hot tub. It's like pouring gasoline on a fire. Putting a cyclone in the Gulf is like pouring gasoline on a fire. Those things expand. They ignore wind shear and they blow up. Brandon, I appreciate you. When we get a La Nina again, we're gonna have wild hurricanes. Yeah. We're overdue for a strong La Nina. Taking a look at the historical events. Will it happen next year? For some reason, I feel like we're going into El Nino next winter or next summer, but we're overdue for a strong La Nina, and that'll be a big. Strong La Ninas are years where you can get some. I mean, all of our most significant hurricane seasons, or 90% of them, have happened in La Ninas. There we go. What website is that? This is a reanalyzer right now, so I can look at all like the historical data. Yeah. So, anyways, I did want to go into Weather Bell right now and talk to you guys about what's fall looking like. Like we can actually take a look. Let's take a look at a little bit of a seasonal outlook here. How about with me in the East tomorrow? Unfortunately, we're gonna have. I was speaking to someone on my Instagram about this because she's holding an event out on Long Island with like bounce houses and stuff. I think that they don't want to fly away. You could get wind gusts on Long Island, 30, 35 miles per hour tomorrow, as you push into the mid to late afternoon hours, early evening. Up and down the East Coast, you could get some strong gusts, 30 to 40 miles per hour. Probably likely as you get into mid to late afternoon and early evening hours for sure. Here we go. CFS Monthly now likes September to remain cool for most of the East. And sees a lot of cool air sticking around all the way through November for the East. And then, as your weak La Nina would, northern tier states want to stay cool into December. Southern tier want to warm up. Although typically with the weak La Nina, you'll actually see all of this colder. And you'll just have the southeast left out. Let's take a look at what some of these trends are showing us, though. They don't mean too much, but you'll start to see agreement eventually. Yeah, these models are trending cold, average to below average for the East all the way through December for the most part. Will that happen? The Euro always trends warm, so nothing really to look at there. Well, except for where it goes average. Where does it go average? December. Wow. That'd be interesting. Let's look at our GFS extended. Sorry, I'm saying. Let's look at our teleconnections. Actually, we'll look at our European weeklies, see if anything's updated here. European weeklies, PNA. All right, average to cool, likely. Average to cool conditions expected throughout the plains out east, at least according to our Pacific North American oscillation through the 28th of September. This would signal a very large warm up. Not very large, but a good heat wave for the East to kick off October. And right as we enter the second week of October, based on what our European weeklies is seeing, it's seeing a absolutely mega Arctic blast moving into the East. This would bring temperatures in the 30s down into probably Oklahoma. I'm not even lying. In October, if we were to see a PNA like that, maybe into northern Texas, this would be crazy. You could actually get some decent snow up north if we were to see a PNA like this in early October. This would be snow in Chicago, potentially. No, but I mean, well, you have to compare it to other things. You have to compare it to other things, and this is a weekly. That's the trend. Which, if you like cold air, it's a good trend for the East in October. You've got your NAO going positive. Oh, that's earlier though, because this isn't pushing out as far. EPO dips down negative as well, so this agrees with the PNA for early October. Plains out east. And our Arctic oscillation, not going far enough out, but staying pretty neutral as we move forward in time here. But that's something to pay attention to. We might be talking about this in about a week. or 2 weeks if this continues to look like that. That's an aggressive look, very aggressive look on our teleconnection. Yeah, Yali, you could probably see wind chills in the low 40s in early October down there if this were to happen. Maybe even high 30s if we were to get. This would just be a super amplified trough digging that Canadian air to the south. Second, third week of October. But in the short term, what's more likely to happen is we're going to stay average to cool moving forward and then have a little bit of a warm up as we get to late September. Let's take a look at our European deterministic in the short term. Yep, short term through the 20th. PNA, NAO neutral, PNA positive, AO negative. This all points towards pretty average, just slightly below average ARDs. With the opposite out west. Now, someone asked earlier for me to take a look out west and I forgot. Let's take a look out there real quick. I think we all know what's happening out west, though. It's hot. It's very hot. Let's do this. Let's go west. Let's go temperature anomalies. Not too bad in the southwest, and that's because they're getting a lot of precipitation moving through right now. Or they're having a nice little storm move in, low pressure sit around. The northwest is baking. You're not too bad out here near the coast. You're mostly average to slightly above average, but the northwest is baking. A little bit of a cool off as we get out here towards the 9th and 10th. That'll be nice. That'll be nice. Next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, potentially. Let me go to our 12Z so we can see a little bit farther out here. And then look at that. Well, we'll see if this is right. But again, this is what we're seeing. Let's actually go to United States. You see how this cool air, these cool anomalies continue to sit out east? Look at this as we move forward in time. It's exactly what our teleconnection is showing us with the negative AO, negative or neutral NAO, negative PNA. But here we go, getting into maybe the third week of September, potential decent heat wave moving through the east. And then the Euro wants the entire country hot. I don't think the entire country is going to be under a ridge. I think it's going to be, typically you start to get it splitting in fall and winter. You don't have the whole country hot at once. But you could get a little bit of a zonal flow, keeping some heat around everyone for a while. But I don't see that happening. We'll probably be cool. If this were to happen, we'd probably still be cooler out here than out west, anomaly-wise. What's Montana looking like over the next couple of weeks? Temperature-wise, looking pretty good over the next week. Slightly below average, slightly below average. But you could see a big warm-up 7-8 days out. And that's what the Euro's seeing. I want to see what the GFS sees here, though, because I don't see that big zonal flow mega heat up for the whole country happening. But what does the GFS think? The GFS kind of agrees, but no, it pushes in another. Once again, what did I tell you, chat? We're just expecting to get more and more cold air. I think when we were ending August, I said, we were looking at the teleconnections. We were looking at the European weeklies. We were looking at the European weeklies when we were ending August, and I said, damn, we might even have mostly below average area through the first 3 weeks of September out east. That's at least what the GFS wants for us. We'll see if that comes true. Teleconnections can do a lot. Teleconnections tell you a way better story than looking at these maps. Because you can compare them. The AO to the PNA to the WPO to the EPO to the NAO. And if you see a trend between all of them, it's good. But like, they're all using the same model. All these are using different algorithms. Euro, Canadian, GFS. So teleconnections are better. BC, are we getting 15-degree weather? Let's see how cold it's going to get near you. Let's see how cold it's going to get near you. Here, 1 second. All right, here we go. All right, buckle up, BC. right, here's your Saturday wind chills. Up here, northwestern Indiana. 30s. 30 wind chills, 40, 45. You gonna get the snowmobiles out? Yeah, pretty good the next day too. But what happens here is you get a little bit of breeze coming off of the warmer water, and you can see this kind of keeps the coastline a little bit warmer. Casual next day, lows again, low 40s, high 30s, wind chills for Monday. Down low 50s, high 40s Tuesday. Yeah, so nice few days there. And I don't know what the GFS is seeing here for you, but 35-degree wind chills, that's too far out. Don't pay attention too much to it. But September 12th, next Friday, that'd be interesting. Actually, I need to pull out here now and take a look. What is the GFS seeing here? Wow. Look at this. I don't want to take this too seriously. Well, 180 hours. Those are some cold temperatures. What are we seeing out in the what are we seeing out east around that timeline? Holy crap. That is a sharp cutoff too. This would be, we'd be on severe weather alert. You're moving? Oh. That sounds fun. You're camping. Don't know where yet, but we're supposed to get a camper, so it might be a bit cold. Yeah. Appreciate you, BC. Let's see here. No, it'll be fun, even if it's cold. Well, I like the cold. I love the cold. Not everyone loves the cold as much as me. Whoa. Okay. People are gonna be clickbaiting with this, guys. This is 354 hours out, but people are going to clickbait this so hard. Do you see these temperatures? Oh, this is going to get clickbaited so hard. Do you guys see these temperatures? 45 degrees in Alabama. Yeah, this would be something. Ain't no way. This would be a crazy cold blast here. This would be a record-breaking one potentially. Getting down into the 50s in Florida in September. No, I'm showing the end of the run because I thought it looked crazy. Don't pay too much attention to that. I do want to see if the Euro has. I don't think the Euro has any sort of agreement with the GFS on that. I think the Euro thinks we're going to be baking. Watch. Yeah, the Euro does not agree with that. Confirmed. The Euro does agree with the first blast of cold air. This one. But it doesn't take it as far south. So the Euro does see this. The Euro and the GFS agree on this, but not what happens after it. Oh yeah, Jasmine, this is a good one. All right, well, I think we've covered a lot. Again, 90% chance. There's a 100% chance, guys. Let's just be honest. Can we be honest with each other? Chat, can we be honest with each other? There's a 100% chance that this thing becomes a tropical cyclone within the next 72 hours. I think we're gonna have a tropical storm on our hand in less than 2 days. Day and a half. You're seeing some exploding convection there. I'm still concerned it's gonna head into the Gulf. Again, the timing of these systems up to the north are gonna determine that, and we will know if this is gonna be a fish storm or not probably by this upcoming Tuesday, for sure. Maybe Monday. Florida is still cooking. Hopefully the GFS is right, though, on that cold air out. 350 hours out. Then you won't be. I appreciate the follows, guys. Thank you.
New information. This flash flood warning has been updated.
Hey, guys. I'm going to show you... I'm going to show you a new piece of merch I worked on today. Ready? For the winter collection. Ready for it? Ready for it, chat? B is going to be the tester. She's getting it, and she will let us know if it is approved. Okay? So if B approves, we'll move forward with it. But we got some other stuff too. Yeah. Thanks, guys. And remember, we're gonna be doing free giveaways. We're gonna be doing a couple. Maybe we'll do 3 this month, just because we haven't done one in a while. Maybe we'll do 3 this month, so you guys can just get it for free. All right. Yeah. If it doesn't come out good, we're gonna make it work. But I think we're gonna be safe. But B's gonna be the tester. Yeah, those are what's called. I had different ones on there before, and these ones are a little bit nicer. They're called. These ones are called. These are the heavyweight sweatpants. So they're like heavier, thicker material. So they're like the baggier, heavier, thicker material. So these look. They're the most comfy looking sweatpants I could find. So. Winter merch. No shorts or shirts on the site anymore. Oh, Carolyn, did you get a pair of the sweatpants that were on there? That's right. What's Panama looking like next week? I'd have to go to my... Oh, how did I do? I just zoomed in on my... What the heck? How did it do that? Why did it just let me zoom in on my... Oh my god, it let me zoom in on my YouTube chat, and it's not letting me zoom out. You can't make this up. I can't zoom out on my YouTube chat. It's not letting me reopen it. Okay. Okay. OBS. I literally can't see YouTube chat now. Oh, you know what? I'll just open YouTube. Give me a second, guys. I'll look at Panama for you in a second. Here's what we'll do. Here's what we'll do. View your channel. Live. I'm going to hear myself talking in a second. There we go. Okay. Now I can read YouTube chat again. Much better. I can go to Radar Omega really quickly. I'm probably going to get off here in a little bit. Not a ton going on tonight. We all probably want to cover that severe weather tomorrow, though. What timing is that? I got to look at that timing again. But I'll probably be covering that tomorrow. Let's just take a look at our global GFS. Panama next week. Like starting Monday? Oh, Panama City Beach? Oh. I was like, okay, I'll look at Panama for. Listen, people come in my chat and tell me to like look at Australia. Oh, thank God. That is such an easier thing to do for me. I'll gladly look at Panama City Beach. So I don't have to do it on Radar Omega. We can just go right into pivotal weather. Take a look at our Euro. Let's head down to the south. Starting next week. Well, here we'll just look at our future radar. Monday looks nice. Well, Monday looks nice. Maybe some scattered thunderstorms Tuesday. And then things get a little bit spicy. We'll go to our 12Z. Things look like they might spice up midweek. Now, the Euro keeps everything just to the south of Panama City. I don't know about that, though. But, again, that's what we're seeing, right? We just talked about it earlier. We're seeing a stalled out front right here. So, hopefully, for your sake, that stalled out front is just to the south of Panama City. Where's Panama City? Like, right there. And if it is, most of the state of Florida will be getting rained on and thunderstorms all week, and Panama City won't. Right now, it looks like it's going to set up just to the south. Our NAM may give us a better look at this, actually. Most of that weather wants to set up to the south of Panama City, so hopefully that continues. That trend continues. Is a new hurricane coming to us eventually? Possibly, but we don't know yet. Too far out to tell. What are the tropics looking like for Houston in the Gulf? There is a chance that this Invest 91L makes it into the Gulf. Forgot to said it earlier, but 91L. 91 is the storm. You label it 90, 91, 92, 93. The L is the ocean that it's in, I believe. W is Western Pacific or Eastern Pacific. L is Northern Pacific. They just show, I should know that, but the L, the letter, just shows, if it's an L, it's in the Atlantic. Just know that. If it's an L, it's our storm. If it's a W, it's not our storm, okay? If it's a W, it's China's storm, Australia's storm, Japan's storm, Hawaii storm. If it's an L, it's a big L for us, right? Because then it's heading right towards us. That's why they put it as an L, like absolute L. I don't know why it's a W for your Asian systems, though. So Invest 91L. It's just the number of the storm is 91. If there were another one storm, it'd be 92. L is where it is. It's in the Atlantic, northern Atlantic. W is West Pacific. E is East Pacific. It's so simple, right? Why don't I know that, Leanne? Yeah, W is West Pacific. That's what I thought. Leanne's always trying to outdo me. I was talking on a stream the other day. You guys are going to get into my stream one day, and it's going to be Leanne. And she's just going to be like, I fired him. He didn't know what he was talking about. She's just going to take it over. She's going to take over the brand, too. Leanne's Climate Corner. Yeah, she's exactly. Female Jim Cantori. She's a secret. No, she's a closet meteorologist. That's what it is. She's a closet meteorologist. But yeah, Panama City looks pretty good. There is possibility that this the storm goes into the Gulf. It's too far out to really know if that's going to happen or not, though. But there are models that see it happening. I personally think that may be the most likely outcome. But I'm like 51 to 49 confident in that. Not very confident because the storm's too far out. Not very confident. I'm not going to like... I always say I'm a betting man. I wouldn't bet on that. The way the atmosphere is kind of setting up here over the western Atlantic, though, I feel like we might have too high pressure, squeeze it into the Atlantic, keep it south. I mean, into the Gulf. Possibly. I know, Leon, right? I just joined. Did you say into the Gulf? No, I'm saying there's a possible. There are outcomes where this storm strengthens and moves into the Gulf, but it's too early to tell. There are also plenty of outcomes where the storm stays off the coast or moves up. There's too many. There are some situations where I believe model runs might take it into the Gulf because it all has to do with the timing. We talked about it earlier, but I'm about to get off. But before I do that, I'll show you it one more time. We talked about it earlier. It's all gonna. Let's go to the European. What happens up here with our jet stream is gonna determine what happens with our storm. You know, if this jet moves out a little bit quicker than projected. I'll actually go to the GFS since we're looking at the GFS model down there. If this jet moves out a little bit quicker than expected, and we have a high pressure sinking in down here to the south, we may end up having a high, Bermuda high, double high up here, keeping the system to the south, pushing it into the Gulf. But we may not. We make it our trough, influencing it enough and moving it away. It's all about these two systems right here. One's going to tilt it up and one's going to try to bring it. One's going to tilt our storm from west going north, and one's going to try to... I could make this a really funny image, but... And then the other one's going to try to push it away. But the speed and the amplification of these two things right here
This severe thunderstorm warning has
are going to
been
affect the direction of our storm. Also, how quickly it intensifies, because the Bermuda high might just pull it up to the north if it intensifies quickly enough. Still a lot of outcomes because it's far enough out. Do I think it's going to hit South Florida? No, but it could. All right. I'm tired. I think I'm going to hop off here. Mod, you're awesome. I appreciate everyone who came in here. Appreciate anyone who gave it a follow, engaged, helped the algorithm. You guys are awesome. I'll be posting again tomorrow morning. Yeah, I've been getting my videos out before 8 a.m. Central Time. And I'll have another one out tomorrow before 8 a.m. Central Time as well. I'm working from home tomorrow. I guess I don't have to get out till 9. We'll see. It'll be out very early. And I'm going to try to live stream for our severe weather through portions of... Remember, severe weather potential, tornado potential through portions of Kentucky, West Virginia, and Ohio tomorrow. I'm going to try to stream that as well, and then we'll talk about hurricane updates and Chile updates tomorrow as well. Again, if this is your first time in the stream, I post every day and I stream 5 days a week. Try to answer questions, get all the weather knowledge out there. You can join my Discord. It's free. Just add me, Connor's Climate Corner HQ. Connor's Climate Corner HQ on Discord. I'll throw you into the weather Discord. Lots of weather enthusiasts in there and lots of information in there for you. Everyone have a great night. You guys are awesome. And we'll have updates on the winter merch collection soon and all the easy ways you can steal all the free merch from me.